What up, Gravity Planet? Tuck here, coming to you again from my place of employment, because it would appear that is where I'm going to be spending a lot of my time in the future. But more about that later, because I've got a lot to talk about and I want to get straight into it. The site is up and running. It's been since the last post. We've been doing test orders and test ships. So I know there's a lot of you guys that have been champing at the bit to order the game. Just consider this a soft opening. We're still tweaking on some things, but it's all functioning. So you guys are all good to purchase. And I'll talk more about that at the end, because what I really want to talk about is what I got. It's a fully packaged product with a shipping label on it. I gotta hold it up here so you can see it. Wait a minute. See? It says Sindel. Is the camera focusing on it? Ah, there it is. Sindel. That's the shipping company we've been using. Where's this one going? To our friends Michelle and Larry in Sopchoppy, Florida. Have you guys ever been through Sopchoppy? Beautiful, cute little quaint town in Florida, right next to Carabel, which is also a beautiful, quaint little town. So if you get a chance to go through there, you should go. Big shout out to Michelle and Larry. Thanks for helping us out and testing our shipping. Yours will be on the way. And you can see that the label is on a shipping sleeve. So you see it doesn't have any ends, so it's a shipping sleeve. And there'll be some tape on here when you get this in the mail. There'll be some tape. Cut it or peel it off, but that's just to hold it in there. We're not 100% sure how we feel about these sleeves. We're getting good response from people. People are telling us that their product is arriving intact, but we may end up cutting some squares and taping them anyway. It keeps the tape off of the finished product. I don't know, but there'll be tape on them, so for now, so you guys can cut that, and then you pull this out of the sleeve, and what? Rebecca's beautiful, wonderful graphics. There's the tagline, and of course we've got the website here. If I get my head out, it'll focus on it. Anyway, the website's right there, www.thegamegravity.com. That's where you can get the product. So let's talk about the box. We got the graphics. It's a craft box. Why is it a craft box? It was a tough choice, and we have a product that was eco-friendly. The raw material, the alder, is very sustainable. The blocks are unfinished. You can't have finish on them. They won't play right with finish on them. So it was just a very eco-friendly product from the beginning. And believe me, it was a very difficult thing for me to choose, because these graphics look fabulous on a white coated box. They really do. I mean, that was the original design, was a white transparent background. It was tough, but in the course of our research, when you're putting together a brand like this and you do a lot of research, the bleaching process is really not healthy for the planet. And the coating process really isn't either. It's a lot of chemical. And it's, it wasn't good. Not to mention the cost. It's, those boxes are twice the expense, which we would have to pass on to you guys. And, that wasn't something that we wanted to do either. So, upon thinking about it, we just figured, it's not competing on a shelf at Walmart or someplace like that. You go on the site to get it, you know what you're getting when it arrives, and then you're gonna dump the blocks out of it and toss the box aside and play the game, and then you're gonna put the blocks back in the box and put it on a shelf in your closet. So it just didn't really, to us, seem like a bleached and coated box was the thing to do. I don't know. I hope you guys agree. That was the way we felt about it, and it's the choice that we made. So not only do we have the graphics and all of that, but like I said, the website's on there. So if you're playing with anybody and they want to know where to get one, that's the spot. On the back, we have just a little bit of a short history about the game and kind of an explanation of what the game is. and then the corporate information. And then on this side, there's just a paragraph about the company and who we are as a company and how we intend on operating. There's a couple of dropped words in this paragraph. We're not sure how that happened yet, but it's not unreadable, so we're not going to throw these boxes away. That would be wasteful. Besides, it's not the instructions or anything. It's just some stuff about us, so you guys will, I'm sure, get along just fine. And then this is what we're most excited about. You notice there's not any pictures on the box, and it's because pictures are tricky to print on craft paper, but we live in the 21st century, and this QR code right here is a direct link to the instructional video where you can watch the game being played and have the instructions explained to you by me, and it works really good. So I encourage you to scan the QR code and go to the video. Oh, here's our social media too. We're on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. Check us out there. So let's look inside. If we open up the box, what? Look at that. If you don't want to watch the video and you just want to read the instructions, they're printed right there on the inside of the box. So no biggie. You can just go that route. And then, of course, 28 awesome Alder game blocks for your stacking pleasure. And these things are freaking fabulous. The blocks get tumbled, so this is what a block looks like when it comes out of the tumbler. I don't know, will the camera focus on it? Maybe it will. Yeah, you can kind of see. Yeah. So they got, I guess, what I would call dings. They're not dents, they're just kind of marks from where they tumble in. But anyway, everything that we send out the door is tested against the state of play. So we randomly pull games out of the process and play games with them to make sure that they're playing up to standard. So in your blocks, what can you expect? You will not receive a block that looks like this. You shouldn't anyway. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see that kind of. You won't receive a block with a chunk missing or that looks like it's going to split. Now, you probably will receive one like this. It may have a knot in it, but you know, that's part of the character of the wood. Again, you won't receive one, or you shouldn't receive one like this with a chunk out of it, or a big split like that where it looks like it could split in half. But you might receive one like this. You know, even if the knot goes through, as long as it, you know, it's in there and it's not going to come out, you could receive this in your box of blocks. Now, what happens, you know, if something slips past us and you do receive one that either has a chunk missing in it, or maybe it has a big saw curve in it? You know, I mean, that's not likely to happen. But if it did, what would you do about it? It's not hard at all. Take a picture of it so that we can see that, you know, there's an issue with it, if it's split in two or if there's a piece missing out of it or whatever. Take a picture of it, message us on the site. We will mail you a block free of charge. We'll stand behind the product for sure, and get you another playing block so you can continue to enjoy the game. And then what happens if one falls on the ground and Spot runs off with it and chews it up? Well, you will be able to purchase replacement blocks a la carte on the site. They're not up there yet, but they will be shortly. And you'll be able to replace any kind of lost blocks or anything like that just by buying a single block, and you won't have to buy a whole game. So we've got some things in the future that are kind of associated in a roundabout way with the box, and this was kind of another reason that we went with the craft look, because we hope that we'll be able to offer product in the future that that you can use to replace the box. For instance, we might do an heirloom box that's a solid wood box, maybe with a slide top, maybe laser etch. We're not there yet, but another thing that we have as an idea is as a display rack, as a conversation piece. I've had this rack. This is my original prototype. This prototype is 30 years old next year, 1995. That's weird. But you can see the rack just kind of holds them in there, the cross pattern, and it just holds them all kind of in there, and really well. And it's a wonderful conversation piece to set on your coffee table or end table or whatever, and people come over, what's that? It's a game. You play it with them, show them how. So that's a possibility. And then the other thing was, you probably noticed that there was not a mat in the box. And the reason for that is mostly that textiles that are 100% sourced and 100% produced in America is hard to do. And especially, unless you're gonna tool up and hire people and do it yourself, which we're willing to do, we're just not yet prepared to do. And the issues with the mat were, go just beyond just that. It was, we didn't feel like it brought enough value to the package for what we would have had to pass on in cost to the consumer to even put it in there. We've been playing this game. We played this game for 26, 27 years without a mat before we even considered putting one in the box, and never had an issue. And truthfully, the consideration for putting it in there was more about having something on the table that reinforces the brand more than it was that it provided any enhancement to the game. It was, mostly about, you dump the blocks out and you pitch the box over, and there's nothing really on the table to reinforce the brand. So we thought about doing a mat, and we produced the mat, but the mat we produced is the multiple layers don't like being folded, so there's an issue there. We're gonna have to redesign something that is a single thicker layer of material. But honestly, what I would rather do is produce something that does bring value to the game. I would love to produce, and we actually have some designs, but we're just not there yet, but a tote bag that would unfold into a mat, because where the mat does bring value is if you're out in the wild somewhere playing. If you're at a park and you're playing on a concrete picnic table, and the blocks might get dinged up, or a picnic table that has gaps in it, or these wire mesh picnic tables. Now, a mat brings value to that situation. And if you had a tote that had the blocks in it that would unfold into a mat, like a Gravity Go kind of product or something, then that would bring more value to the table. So we're looking at those kind of things in the future, so that if you want just the standard game, which is very affordable, you can have that. Or if you want to upgrade to one of these other methods, you can. Or you could just buy the Gravity Go or the heirloom box with the game in it. You could do it either way on the site. So those are some of the things that we're considering for the future, and I think that those would be neat additions to people's game closet. That's why we're thinking about doing it. So the last thing I want to talk about is the price, $34.95 to your door, from the forest to your door, as we say. The alder, I love it for so many reasons, but I think the biggest reason that I love it is that it's an American resource, which means it's American jobs. Every time you buy one of our games, it's 100% Americans working. Loggers, millers, paper mill people, delivery workers, just it's 100% American jobs. That is my favorite thing about it. So from the forest to your door, $34.95. How does that break down? The game, it breaks down into $19.95 for the game. That's a throwback to the era that it was created in the year 1995. And in 1995, you could buy stuff off of TV for $19.95. And we felt like that's a number that we could make profitable for us in the future when we're buying in volume and selling in volume. And then $15 shipping and handling. We're going to pay the tax. And why did we do it that way? Well, the reason I wanted to do it that way is because I don't know about you guys, but I work really hard for my money. And we live in this world now where we order a lot of stuff online. And when I order something online and it's a price that I think is good, and then I get to the paying part, and then the shipping gets tagged on and the tax gets tagged on, it just always feels, I don't know, it doesn't feel pleasurable to me. And it's not your responsibility to get the product to you. That's our responsibility. So, you know, we're paying for that anyway out of our number, and it's not your responsibility to pay the tax on the product. I mean, it's you paying the tax, but it's our responsibility to get it to the entity that it goes to. So my thought was just put it all in one number and tell people that's what it is, and they don't have to worry about that stuff. So that's how the price tag breaks down. $34.95 from the forest to your door. We're looking at some discounts for buying doubles and triples. We get some shipping discounts, and we're trying to work a deal. It's not on the site yet, but it will be before too much longer, where you can get some discounts for doubles and triples if you want to buy them for gifts for multiple people. So those are all of the things that we're working towards in the very, very near future. Now, let me get back to the site. The site is up and running. If you guys, consider this a soft opening, you're free to go and purchase. We're going to be tweaking the site a little bit, but that shouldn't affect anybody's ability to buy. So who should be buying? Everybody should be buying. It's a super fun game for little kids. It's a fun game for adults and old people. It's a healthy game to play. There's nothing suggestive or weird about it. It's good for hand-eye coordination and dexterity. It's very kinesthetic. You kind of learn through your fingers, and it holds your attention because of the strategy involved. If you are out there and if you're a real estate agent and you're buying housewarming gifts for your clientele, what could be a better housewarming gift than a game to go in the game closet? Same with birthdays, weddings. We got a lot of weddings coming up, games to go in the game closet, things that couples can do to entertain their friends. There's lots of stuff to get us between where you're here and Christmas. So you guys are free to go on there and have at it. And we're gonna do an official launch. It'll probably be some type of little party with some people. We'll have some game tables going, and we may do some live stuff, or we may just record it and post it. I'm not sure what we're going to do yet, but I'm thinking maybe somewhere around April 1st we're going to beef up the stock and tweak on the site a little bit, but don't let that stop you from going on the site and buying. Last thing I want to do is make sure that I give a ginormously huge shout out to all of the people who have been rooting for us and supporting us even the last 3 years, really, through this whole process. It's a wild story, and I hope we have the chance to tell you that story. Here's what it boils down to. If you guys buy a bunch of these games, we'll tell you this story, how we ended up, why it took us all these years to do it, and how it was COVID inspired, and it's a really wild story. But we've had a lot of support from people who have encouraged us and said, you guys can do it. The game's super fun to play. I can't wait to order one. A bunch of you guys have helped us develop product we've shot ideas off of, and you've kind of helped us, produce things. Even recently, all of you guys who have helped us in our ordering, testing our ordering and shipping process, all you people know who you are. It's too many for me to name, but thank you so much. And I just want to get back, probably last thing to say to you guys is get back to my place of employment. The reason that I'm doing some of these videos here is because I'm actually producing the game here. My employer saw the game, asked me about it. I kind of explained to him what I was doing and that we had been looking for real estate, and the size real estate we need. We don't need very much at all. Small places, and I mean a garage is enough, but it's all the small real estate just stays gobbled up, and it's really hard to find something in the beginning that will work for what we need. And he was super sympathetic to the situation. He took a couple of games home to his grandkids and they loved it, and he really sees the concept as something for the future. So he's been willing and says he's going to continue to be willing for us to operate here until we can find the real estate that we need. And of course I'm willing to keep doing what I'm doing here at my job because I love it. And eventually you guys are going to buy enough of these games that it'll start costing me money to come to work, and then I'll have to just do games full time. That's the dream, right? But I just want to say a big shout out, especially to my employer for being super understanding. If you guys want to see what I do for a living, you can go to betsboats.com. You can also look at Stevens Waring Yacht Design because they have the boat that we're building on their site, but betsboats2.com will show you the kind of work I do. It's a really neat place here, and they love business and they love new concepts and new projects. So they've been super supportive, as so many people have. So thank you to everybody. And you guys go and order games, and I'll keep you posted on when we're going to do the official launch party, and you can, whatever we're going to do there, I'm not sure yet, but it's a brand new product on the market. Can't go wrong with a brand new product because you can't double gift it. So go on the site, support American jobs, support this American brand, and we love you guys, and I'm out. Peace.